Good afternoon. Welcome to RSBN Live. I'm Matthew Alvarez, looking live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's Carnegie Mellon University. I've been there before for a previous event back in the day. Went to college in that area, not at Carnegie Mellon. Holy smokes. Got to be really smart to go to Carnegie Mellon. I'm pretty smart, but Carnegie Mellon smart? Maybe. Anyway, so we're going to see the president there momentarily as it's 3 o'clock, 3:01 Eastern Time, 12 o'clock on the West Coast. Hello to all of you watching on the East Coast, West Coast, Mountain Time Zone, Central Time Zone, and anywhere you're watching right now, and even if you're watching on replay. Thanks so much for streaming in live as more numbers start to gather to this stream as we get ready to see the president in about 29 minutes from now. We'll have a live interview coming up in about 14 minutes or so. And also, we'll be playing a video from the senator of Pennsylvania, Mr. Mike McCormick, who also released a video in regards to today's event there in Pennsylvania. So looking forward to sharing that with you here on the network. In the meantime, we know we've been following a lot of news throughout the week, even though it's only Tuesday, right? But the 24/7 news cycle always at a high rate of speed, including when it comes to the many wins that we've been seeing with this president. And also a lot of people talking about the Epstein case. Of course, President Trump spoke about it today a little bit outside of the White House. And also we heard a lot of questions being asked to Pam Bondi about it. We'll get to that in just a minute. But before we do, of course, a lot of wins that we've seen by this president, whether it's MAHA, whether it's even Make America Beautiful Again and Make America Great Again, and all of the great things that we're seeing happen. But of course, we are still monitoring various news stories that are being discussed. Again, we'll dive into that in just a second, including this specific news story that we're covering today. So President Trump will deliver remarks to the inaugural Pennsylvania Energy and Innovation Summit. It's hosted by Senator Dave McCormick. Apologies, I called him Mike earlier. It's Dave McCormick, of course. He was saying yesterday on X, big things are happening this week in Pennsylvania. Our inaugural Pennsylvania Energy and Innovation Summit will showcase all that is great about our Commonwealth and will spotlight incredible investments that will fuel good paying jobs, energy independence, and the AI revolution. So the Senator McCormick saying he's grateful to President Trump and industry leaders for ensuring Pennsylvania's brightest days are ahead. Let's go to a video from the Senator of Pennsylvania who posted this on X just recently.
We're going to do an energy summit in Pittsburgh later this summer.
It aims to gather global leaders in energy and artificial intelligence to discuss Pennsylvania's roles in powering AI technology.
Pennsylvania's future is the intersection of energy, innovation, and artificial intelligence. Pennsylvania is blessed. We have amazing assets, the second largest energy capability in the country, the fourth largest natural gas reserves in the world.
This is a huge opportunity. I've talked to President Trump about it. I've talked to Secretary Wright.
Can I count on your support?
Absolutely, you can count on my support. The more energy infrastructure we have in this country, the better for America, the better for Americans, the better for Pennsylvania.
We have the absolute best skilled workforce, hardest working workforce. If we can have the focus and execution, if we can have the collaboration, then Pennsylvania's brightest days lie ahead.
All right, let's go there live right now to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Of course, some rally vibes there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Again, the president will be delivering remarks to the inaugural Pennsylvania Energy and Innovation Summit hosted by Senator Dave McCormick. So what we're seeing there is not the podium where the presidential seal will be, and this is more of a roundtable discussion, of course, but in front of a number of people and in front of a number of people watching here on Right Side Broadcasting Network and throughout conservative media. Let's go back there to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Actually, we're going to stay right here live. I thought that was going to be a speaker, but that is where the president will sit as he was putting the presidential seal there and making sure the water is all topped off for everyone that will be involved. So if we see anything happening live there, of course, we'll take you there and just listen in on what's going on. In the meantime, it is 3:06 Eastern time, of course, 12:06 on the West Coast. Monitoring various posts by President Donald Trump, of course, and right here at Right Side Broadcasting as well, as the camera panning through the crowd there. Again, this is at Carnegie Mellon University. Let's go over the Senator Dave McCormick's statement yesterday on X. He was saying big things are happening this week in Pennsylvania. Our inaugural Pennsylvania Energy and Innovation Summit will showcase all that is great about our Commonwealth and will spotlight incredible investments that will fuel good-paying jobs, energy independence, and the AI revolution. Grateful to President Trump and industry leaders for ensuring Pennsylvania's brightest days are ahead. So if you're just joining us now and you missed any of our coverage from the past two live streams, there was the GOP press conference earlier this morning with Robert McNeely hosting that, and then I was hosting for the DOJ and DEA joint press conference. During that live stream, the president spoke to reporters outside of the White House on the way to this trip in Pennsylvania. You can watch that on replay as well. And then also we'll be having a live guest join us any minute from now here on Right Side. So you can watch all of these replays, all this live streaming that happened simply just today. And that's what we like to do on the right side of history in conservative media right here on Right Side, is to cover what's happening, the news of the day, and of course, bring on guests to discuss some of the things that everyone's talking about, including the Epstein case. That's something that we're going to speak to T.S. Dixon one more time. I'm going to bring him on the show again because the prior interview, we had other events to get to, and I wanted him to expand a bit more on what he was saying. So we'll bring him on the show as soon as he gets on the line there, as it's 3:08, Tuesday, July 15th. All right, let's go to kalshi.com/RSBN, kalshi.com/RSBN. Of course, if you're looking to better trade on various topics, including science, technology, sports, weather, faith, really whatever, you can do that right there, kalshi.com/RSBN. Great app, great website, great sponsor, and so is angelpace.com out of Spring, Texas. A lot of great products there. All you have to do is go to angelpace.com, use the RSBN promo code, receive that discount for the Miracle Cream and other great products and items that are on there on Right Side Broadcasting Network right here live when it's angelpace.com. So just check it all out if you'd like. Great sponsors on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Okay, so we know that President Trump will be going to Scotland in July. July 25th through the 29th. Next Friday will be the start of that trip, as we're looking at a few people there awaiting this roundtable discussion at the Energy and AI Roundtable. President Trump already boots on the ground in Pennsylvania, so we'll be seeing him here shortly, and we'll be going to that interview in just a minute as well. Again, President Trump speaking about a number of different topics outside of the White House, receiving a number of questions from pretty much all over the map when it comes to whether it's domestic issues, when it comes to international trade and that kind of thing. So covering that all here right on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Let's do this. Before we go to our live interview, let's take a commercial break. I'm Matthew Alvarez. You're watching RSBN Live. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Right Side Broadcasting Network, your trusted conservative news outlet. At RSBN, we deliver the truth when the mainstream media falls short. Since 2015, we've proudly broadcasted every single one of President Trump's iconic MAGA rallies, bringing you the excitement and energy live before anyone else. By watching RSBN, you get an unfiltered front row view of the action on the ground. We interview the crowds to give a voice to millions of Americans just like you. We show you President Trump's speeches in their entirety, free from interruptions and censorship. We cover the stories that matter to you with the integrity and passion you deserve. Thank you for choosing RSBN as your home for America First News. Together, we stand strong, united, and informed, so join us and be part of the right side of history.
Hey y'all, it's Silk from the Diamond and Silk Chit Chat live show. Look, don't forget to check me out right here on RSBN Network. Be sure to watch the show on Right Side Broadcasting Network, and I want you to support Right Side Broadcasting Network. Yes, it's imperative that you do so, okay? I look to see y'all soon. Bye-bye.
To celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7, I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.
Welcome back to Right Side Broadcasting Network. This is RSBN Live. I'm Matthew Alvarez. It is 3/12, Tuesday, July 15th. Thanks so much for joining us live right now here at Right Side Broadcasting Network as we get ready to see President Trump in the western part of Pennsylvania. Before we go there, or as soon as we see any activity there on the screen, I want to bring T.S. Dixon, the conservative analyst and author, on the broadcast once again. And T.S., I wanted to bring you on again today to give you a chance to expand more on what you believe is happening with this whole Epstein topic that everyone has been talking about since last week. Of course, we've been covering win after win here at the network by this administration, but you're saying more should be done by this administration and done now. So can you give us that 30,000-foot view on all that?
Yeah, first I want to say that I wouldn't trust any evidence that was released right now from this second batch that they got from the FBI offices in New York. I wouldn't trust any of it. I think much of it was deleted, and I think there's still tranches of evidence that's been hidden. And then there's 2 courts that have evidence from the 2 cases, one with Ghislaine Maxwell and the other one with Epstein himself, and those are under seal. So basically what I was saying earlier when I came on is that the FBI has now performed at least 5 operations against Trump, his campaign, his administration, his re-election attempts, and these are that we know of. And so should it be any wonder that he appoints Kash Patel and Dan Bongino to go in and take over the FBI, but they didn't clean house, they didn't get rid of the top leadership, they didn't get rid of the key managers. And so those people are still there, and is it any wonder that the FBI is acting like a rogue organization and that they are actively trying to sabotage Trump at this very moment? I mean, remember the dossier, the PP dossier that falsely accused Trump of sleeping with prostitutes and getting peed on in a Russian hotel? Well, guess who helped circulate that around Washington, D.C. and applied for FISA warrants based on that material? The FBI. So shocking that we're getting these tranches of supposed evidence from the FBI. They withhold it, and then they go and have to raid the offices and fire officials because they're withholding evidence on this case. I wouldn't trust any of it. To me, it smells like a big setup. The fact that you have the Democrats now all of a sudden very curious about the Epstein release, something doesn't smell right to me. It smells fishy. I think this is another rogue FBI operation. It looks clear to me, and I wouldn't believe any of the evidence coming out of this tranche. I think it's good that they're going to appoint a special prosecutor, a special investigator into this matter, but I think they need to go and dig up the rest of the evidence that they have concerning this case.
Right, and you were saying earlier that you have no knowledge or proof that there's any file on Trump, but you do know, you said for a fact,
of course not,
that the FBI has run multiple operations to eject him from office or sabotage elections. You also said, until proven otherwise, Trump is innocent. And if there's proof he committed real crimes, then he will have to answer for that. But you're saying there's no proof that he did anything wrong, and he gets the presumption of innocence. So if you look at that, and then you look at this maybe an op you're saying from the FBI, I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm the anchor guy, I'm the host guy, I'm asking you the questions. But every time you've come on the broadcast, yes, you've been very on point and very on the right side of history. So I wanted to give you that opportunity to really let us into your mind, because to be honest, I trust what you're saying. You seem like a very brilliant person, but again, can you let people know that you're speculating on this? You don't have proof or evidence either way that this is actually tied to the FBI or not, but President Trump is saying...
This is my analysis for sure, absolutely. But we have a lot of precedent that the FBI has tried repeatedly to set Trump up and to formulate and fabricate false evidence against him. So we have proof of that. We have no proof whatsoever, no evidence whatsoever that Trump has ever committed any crimes that they've accused him of falsely, whether trying to get him out of office and run a coup on him, which is a treasonous act, in my opinion, and is at the very least, a seditious conspiracy, which is a criminal conspiracy, criminal act. So I'm happy to see that they're now going and investigating these key players in that event. But no, I mean, if you look at how they've tried to embarrass Dan Bongino and Kash Patel by the briefings they gave to them, assuring them that it was a legitimate suicide and there was evidence of that, and then when it gets released to the public, the FBI had doctored the footage and there was missing footage. I mean, that's completely embarrassing. That is the FBI trying to embarrass and sabotage Trump's leadership. Same with Pam Bondi. They told her that they gave her the files, they were on her desk. That's why she said that to Fox News. Everyone's attacking her. But it was the Department of Justice and the FBI stay-behinds that told her that, and she trusted them. Well, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Now what they need to do is go in and clean house. So I think they need to do a purge at the DOJ, at the FBI. You know, Trump's job, these are opponents, Trump's job as the reformer, as the Teddy Roosevelt, the Abraham Lincoln, the George Washington figure, is to come in and free the people from the corrupt, tyrannical establishment that is committing vast crimes behind the scenes. So it is his job as the chief law enforcement agent to come in and lead the reforms to sweep through, dismantle the deep state, cripple the globalist establishment, and restore power to the people. That's his job as the reformer. Their job as the entrenched deep state and globalist establishment is to try to stop him at all costs. And we've seen them attempt that through the P dossier, Crossfire Hurricane, the Mar-a-Lago raids because of the false documents, accusations, trumped up false charges in multiple jurisdictions and state courts to try and throw him in jail for hundreds of years. On and on and on, we see these operations being launched and lobbed against him, not to mention the misinformation campaigns, the media campaigns against him, a lot of it most likely being coordinated by our own agencies. This is what they run in foreign countries then when they want to topple a leader or run a coup and do regime change. Well, now the regime change is here. We had two reform presidents in the past 100 years, Nixon, and then we had JFK, who was starting to become a big reform player. And what happened to them? They had to be done away with. And with Trump, they're trying to do away with him because they can't allow his reforms, his MAGA movement, to prevail. And so now they're even trying to set him up in order to turn his own MAGA base against him. But I think he's doing some smart moves, and I think he's not going to let them get away with it. And I hope that he is successful.
So what is the solution now? You're saying the solution is to dissolve the entire FBI, or just, you said before, the 3 levels down underneath Kash and Dan. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's called a purge. So when an organization has become totally defunct or corrupt or criminal, which can happen in the private sector or the public sector, and these have become criminal indeed, you do a purge of the leadership. So in my opinion, the leadership is so corrupt at the DOJ and FBI, and we have the evidence of their actions, that below Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino, I would go 3 layers down of leadership, and I would terminate all of them. And then you replace them with either rank and file or outsiders or people from your cabinet, people from the MAGA movement, or better yet, how about the whistleblowers that came out and told the truth about the FBI over the past few years that were fired and lost their jobs and their pay? Why don't we, that's the kind of morals and values that we should look for in leaders. Why don't we appoint them to some leadership positions? But we've got to do it there. For the CIA is involved in this because everything concerning Jeffrey Epstein and these blackmail rings where they abused countless children, which are crimes, this is a criminal network, all was apparently involved, allegedly, in and around the CIA. So we need full investigations into this. We need declassifications into everything. And if our CIA has indeed become a criminal organization, which we know of many past crimes in the 70s and 60s with the various experiments they were running on people, and then the drug running in the 80s in the Iran-Contra scandal, and now this. If our CIA has become, this devolved and this criminal, and it's nothing more than a criminal organization, then we should abolish the CIA. And Truman, after he passed the 1947 act that created it, later said that he regretted creating the CIA.
To your point, what you were saying there, and if you're just joining us now, this is T.S. Dixon, conservative analyst and author. He's been on the broadcast a few times and always on the right side of history, spitting truth. This time you're saying, though, this is still a speculation of a connection when it comes to the FBI. I'm not saying I have evidence or receipts. I'm not saying I believe in what you're saying or not, but I hear what President Trump's saying. I hear what you're saying. And if what you're saying is true, this is quite the scandal.
The problem is we associate, or many people want to associate law enforcement with America. And if you're going in to clean up dirty cops and dirty spies and dirty agents, that you're attacking America or you're attacking law enforcement or you're attacking rank and file. And that's not the case. What you're attacking is corruption. And the number one job of a reformer in this era is to punish corruption. In order, when we bombed Iran or when we do shows of force like that, they call that a deterrent policy. It's an international policy so that you're demonstrating to these other powers around the world that might threaten us that we're not afraid to use force to deter you. And it deters and discourages them from attacking us or committing acts of terrorism or theft against our countries. And the same thing here, if you punish these people, if you go after them and actually punish them and actually reveal the truth to the people, it's a deterrent to further corruption. People will be scared. They'll think twice about using and corrupting the apparatus of the federal government against the people in the future because there will be consequences. And so it's a deterrent. That's why law enforcement and criminal justice is so vital in a reform. In my most recent book, The Woke Mind Viruses, I lay out 6 steps to redressing the grievances and bringing criminal justice. 1, free and pardon political prisoners. He did that on day 1. 2, expose the information and evidence of corruption to the people. He needs to do that, but they need to do it properly, not with a tranche of evidence hand-curated by the Democrat Party and the FBI. No. That's not the one we want released, that the Democrats, we want the full body of evidence, not this hand-selected. I don't trust it for a second. 3, assign trusted outsider experts to investigate the criminal activity. These are special prosecutors. 4, encourage whistleblowers to come forward without fear of repercussion or even offering rewards. 5, make sure non-corrupt judges and juries can administer justice wherever they find the law and the Constitution have been violated. And 6, if a court or prosecutor is found to be corrupt, bring them up before their state house or legal accountability structure and revoke their license or punish them. So this is what we have to do. In countries where this is done, I case study many countries that successfully reform a very corrupt government or very corrupt government agencies. And there are 4 steps, but this final step of administering justice, the redress of grievances, is the most important. And without that, these reforms will be temporary. They'll be transient. They'll be a forgotten memory, and we'll go not just back to the way things were, but worse than the way things were before.
It is 3:25. You're looking live there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Everyone's seated right now. The president may be next to join as this event starts at 3:30. You're hearing live from conservative analyst and author T.S. Dixon. T.S., thanks again for joining us live. I hear what you're saying. A lot of people are hearing what you're saying. And thank you so much for your insight on this matter, sir.
You've got it. You've got it. I support Trump. Trump's in a tough situation right now. And I don't blame Bongino, Cash, or Pam. I think they're being hoodwinked and they're being sabotaged by their own staff. So I think they need to get the scissors out and start making some organizational cuts.
Thank you, T.S. Dixon, for your insight.
You've got it. Thanks for
Definitely. It's great to hear from T.S. Dixon. We've had him on the broadcast a lot here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. You know, speaking about the depths of the swamp when it comes to certain things that are happening. We heard from the president earlier speaking about this as well. Me as an anchor, as a host, as a journalist, down the middle, but always on the right side of history. So if there is some evidence and receipts and what we have seen what the FBI has done over the years, we will report as we get more information here, but great to hear from T.S. Dixon there. Meantime, that is the Keystone State, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I was born there, and I actually went to college pretty close to where President Trump will be today. All right, let's go there live as we get ready to hear from the President of the United States of America. All right, so as soon as we see the president, we'll take you there live, listening in on some of that soundtrack there. Pretty cool stuff being played there at the Carnegie Mellon University. President Trump, of course, there this afternoon to deliver remarks to the inaugural Pennsylvania Energy and Innovation Summit hosted by Senator Dave McCormick. Of course, looking at the Commerce Secretary right there, speaking to a number of people. Let's share this information with you from Senator Dave McCormick. Just the other day on X, he said, quote, "Big things are happening this week in Pennsylvania. Our inaugural Pennsylvania Energy and Innovation Summit will showcase all that is great about our Commonwealth and will spotlight incredible investments that will fuel good paying jobs, energy independence, and the AI revolution. Grateful to President Trump and industry leaders for ensuring Pennsylvania's brightest days are ahead." Of course, Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, speaking there on the right side of your screen, as we will be going there any minute from now as it's 3:28 Eastern. In the meantime, what we can do is keep the live picture up, but also play you the video from Senator Dave McCormick of Pennsylvania on the other screen. This was posted just the other day, all about this entire roundtable. Take a look.
We're going to do an energy summit in Pittsburgh later this summer.
It aims to gather global leaders in energy and artificial intelligence to discuss Pennsylvania's roles in powering AI technology.
Pennsylvania's future is the intersection of energy innovation and artificial intelligence. Pennsylvania is blessed. We have amazing assets, the second largest energy capability in the country, the fourth largest natural gas reserves in the world.
This is a huge opportunity. I've talked to President Trump about it. I've talked to Secretary Wright.
Can I count on your support?
Absolutely, you can count on my support. The more energy infrastructure we have in this country, the better for America, the better for Americans, the better for Pennsylvania.
We have the absolute best skilled workforce, hardest working workforce. If we can have the focus and execution, if we can have the collaboration, then Pennsylvania's brightest days lie ahead.
So this entire event will be hosted there by the Senator, Mr. McCormick. Let's go there live to Pittsburgh. Well, usually presidential music will play, so that might happen here any minute from now as we get ready to see President Trump there live at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Carnegie Mellon University. Dave McCormick, the Pennsylvania senator, just arriving there. Everybody in their appropriate position, awaiting the commander-in-chief to step into the room there. As you know, he is there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm sure taking a few photos with people, shaking some hands, saying hello, as he will be stepping out any minute from now, 3:32 Eastern. Thanks again for joining us on Right Side Broadcasting Network. I'm Matthew Alvarez. We're covering the news of the day. This is the event. President Trump to take part in this energy and AI roundtable there at Carnegie Mellon in Pennsylvania. So looking forward to seeing this event, and we will bring it to you live in its entirety from start to finish. Of course, if you missed any of our commentary, and also when it comes to the news of the day and also some live interviews, you can always check out our replays all across social media, including Truth Social, Facebook even, X, YouTube. However, Rumble, always a great spot to watch as well. So a lot of great places to watch our live coverage here on Right Side as we await the Commander-in-Chief, the 47th President, Donald Trump, to show up there, as it's now 3:33 Eastern Time, Tuesday, July 15th. Again, big things happening according to Dave McCormick this week in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Our inaugural Pennsylvania Energy and Innovation Summit will showcase all that is great about our Commonwealth and will spotlight incredible investments that will fuel good-paying jobs, energy independence, and the AI revolution. So the Senator Dave McCormick saying he's grateful to President Trump and industry leaders for ensuring Pennsylvania's brightest days are ahead. I'm hearing it's good to toss now. Let's go back to Pittsburgh.
Please welcome the 45th and 47th President of the United States, President Donald J. Trump.
Well, good afternoon. Mr. President, welcome back to Pittsburgh. So glad to have you. A year ago, almost to the day, I was with you at Butler, and I witnessed your strength and your courage on that day. Beyond grateful that you're here safely with us, and we are honored and thrilled to have you back in town. At the town we're proud to call home. At such an historic time for our great Commonwealth and for our nation. In your first term, you famously promised you were elected to represent the citizens of Pittsburgh, not Paris. And today you're once again making good on that promise. And what's happening here today is absolutely historic. Your visit and your leadership has catalyzed $90 billion of investment in energy and AI. Your presence and those commitments showcase Pennsylvania's story to the world. And today's on the promises that you and I made to the working families of Pennsylvania by creating many thousands of new jobs. Mr. President, you and I campaigned on an agenda to make America energy dominant, to secure our nation's AI leadership, to create jobs and opportunity for working families in Pennsylvania and across America. And your policies are working. You're making our country energy dominant once again. You're supporting workers at every level. You've embraced foreign investment and created good-paying jobs right here in the United States of America. And you have been unwavering in your commitment to rebuilding America's industrial capacity and securing long-term AI leadership. Those policies are not only crucial to our economic well-being, to the people here in Pennsylvania, but to our national security. And this agenda has galvanized private capital. It's unleashing a new wave of industrial development and job creation across America and in Pennsylvania. And I just want to say I'm so thankful to you, but also to your incredible team, Secretary Lutnick, Secretary Bessent, Secretary Burke, Secretary Wright, David Sachs. We have had such incredible leadership and support from your team. Before we talk about those commitments here, and what it means for Pennsylvania workers, I know you want to say a few words. And so I'd like to say, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce the 45th and the 47th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
Thank you very much. It's a real honor to be here. This is a place that warms my heart. We did very well in the state, as you know, 3 times actually, and it's been a tremendous experience. I went to school here, to college here, and I got to know it very well. And the people are the greatest people on earth, so it's a real honor. And I have to say about David and Dina, they had the toughest race there was. I said, this is going to be a tough one. And every campaign stop that I made, we had lots of people. Tens of thousands would be a small crowd. And I'd invite David, and he'd get up and do a fantastic job. And it all worked out, but he won a race that was really not doable. I think his opponent was here for a long time, and his father was there for it's about 50 years at least total. And those people aren't easy to beat, but you beat them. So I just want to congratulate you. That's amazing. And he wouldn't have done it without Dina. That I can tell you. We know Dina. Anybody that knows Dina knows exactly what I'm saying. And, he mentioned Butler, but what nobody really talks too much about because they didn't see the order. But I actually looked down to the right before that thing happened. And I said, oh, there's David McCormick. He's running for the Senate. David, come on up. And there was so many people, there was a little problem he had coming up because I said, look, just do it later. And then about a minute later, so, if you would have come up, I don't know what the hell would have happened, right? It worked out better this way, right?
Exactly.
I don't know if he would have been around, but other than that, I want to take full credit for that. I said, no, don't bother, we'll do it later. So if I didn't say that, who knows? But really great job. Exactly 1 year ago this week, David was at that rally in Pennsylvania. And 12 months later, look at what we have. We have a president. We have if you think about it, we had a country, and I just left the NATO leaders. I left the Middle East, the King of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, as you know, Mir, so great, and UAE. These are 3 great leaders. And then we just made a deal with NATO where they pay for everything, and we give them the ammunition and the missiles, and we give them whatever they want. We got to get that war stopped. It's so bad. But every leader said, no matter where, they all said the same thing to me. Some of them separately, but it's same words, just about. He said, it's amazing. 1 year ago, you had a dead country. We were dead. We didn't think you could ever come back. And now today, you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. It's true. So, we're back in Pittsburgh to announce the largest package of investments in the history of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and it's not even close. I don't imagine it's too close. I don't think it's too close. That's a big statement. This afternoon, 20 leading technology and energy companies are announcing more than $92 billion of investments in Pennsylvania. And if you want, we can probably get them up. Let's stop with that. This is a really triumphant day for the people of the Commonwealth and for the United States of America. We're doing things that nobody ever thought possible. As of about a month and a half ago, when we came back from the Middle East, we came back with $5.1 trillion of investments from the 3 countries that I mentioned, and they're great people, great leaders of those countries. But we came back with many, many planes, that they are going to build through Boeing. They came back with a package of goods that were, nobody's seen. I don't think anybody's seen. $5.1 trillion, and we are now at about $16 trillion, and we're at a little bit less than 6 months, but really we're probably at 3 months because it took me a little time to get started, right? So in 3.5, 4 months, let's say, we have about $16 trillion. There's never been anything like that in history. You can go for years and they didn't have numbers like that. And if you look at the last administration, you had negative numbers. You didn't have positive numbers. You're going in the wrong direction. We have the hottest country, and we're going to keep it that way. Today's commitments are ensuring that the future is going to be designed, built, and made right here in Pennsylvania and right here in Pittsburgh, and I have to say right here in the United States of America. I want to thank, we have some great talent in the administration. I want to thank and say hello to a few people that are with us, secretaries, Scott Besson, Howard Lutnick, Doug Burgum, Chris Wright. Chris Wright's very friendly with the people up here. Doug, I wanted Doug for energy. I didn't know about Chris. And Doug said, I have somebody that's much better than me. Right? Doug never said that in his life. I said, this guy must be very good. But what a team they are. We have one controls the land and one controls the energy, but it was sort of intertwined. So we put them together, right? We never even discussed who's supposed to be the leader of the pack, but boy, it was one instruction: drill, baby, drill, right? And they are drilling. We have the EPA administrator, probably, I must say this, Doug, I hate to say Chris and Doug, and all of you guys, the most important man of the days today is Lee Zeldin, who's called Environmental Protection, because he's going to be the one that gets you a permit. He's going to get you a permit for the largest electric producing plant in the world in about a week, would you say? Now, if you go nuclear, I promised him I'd give him 2 weeks. Okay? Nuclear will give him a little more time. But the biggest problem we've had is it takes years and years to get permits, and he really is. He's a phenomenal guy, and his history. He's a great lawyer, great congressman, in a race that was, according to most, unwinnable. Almost won for governor, just missed it by a few points, and he's really fantastic. But he's essentially the Environmental Protection Agency, the top man, and he's got things rocking, and already they're building plants and they have their permits. These are permits that would have taken you literally 10 years to get, or I would really say 10 years before they voted against you, because that's really what was happening, and it's crazy all over the country. But we're freeing it up, and he really is going to be able to produce. And I'm looking at the numbers of China, where they're producing a lot of electric. Well, they only have one man they have to worry about, our friend, right, President Xi. He can do that by himself. I don't know if I can. Do I have the right to overrule you? Maybe. I don't know. Probably I do, but I won't have to. But so he has one man, and we have one man. The one man is sitting right there. We appreciate you doing an amazing job. They're building plants already, and they're building plants, and they have already their permits. And I have to I have to brag just for a second, because when I first heard about AI, it's not my thing. Although my uncle was at MIT, one of the great professors, 51 years, whatever. He was the longest serving professor in the history of MIT, 3 degrees in nuclear, chemical, and math. That's a smart man. Kaczynski was one of his students. Do you know who Kaczynski was? There's very little difference between a madman and a genius. But Kaczynski, I said, what kind of a student was he, Uncle John, Dr. John Trump? He said, what kind of a student? And he said, seriously good. He said he'd go around correcting everybody, but it didn't work out too well for him. Didn't work out too well, but it's interesting in life. But I will say this, that we have the greatest brains, we have the greatest power, and we are going to have more electric. I said to some of the guys coming in, they wanted to hook up to the grid. I spoke to Mark and Jeff, and a lot of people. And they said, well, we want to know about the electric, because I was told we'll need from David. The first one, you're the first one that told me. That's why I hired him, because they said he told me something I didn't know. He said, you need double the electric of what we have right now and maybe even more than that. Remember that? And I said, what, are you kidding? And that's double the electric that we have. Take everything we have and double it. And actually, the number, that was even low. You need more than that. And to do that, you'd have to hook up to an old grid, in many cases broken and certainly very much open to destruction from bombs and planes and from, frankly, storms. You see what happened, that horrible situation in Texas. And you'd be subject to that. And it's fragile, but it is old, and it can't have the capacity unless you totally rebuild it. That would take decades. And I said, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we, when you build your plant, wherever you may build it, you build your own electric plant? And nobody took it seriously. They sort of looked like, I can't really take that seriously, because they didn't believe it was happening. So the smartest people, some of them on stage right now, were saying, huh. And then they'd say, well, how do we hook up to the grid? We want to hook up. They didn't believe what I was saying. And I said, no, I'm really serious. I'm going to let you build, right, Lee? I'm going to let you build with your plant. You're going to build, we'll make you like a public utility. You're going to build your own Con Edison in New York. You're going to build your own electric factory, and you're going to make your own electricity. So this way you can have a great plant. And what you'll do is, if you have excess, you can sell it back into the grid. You'll even make money from the electric business, because these guys do know how to make money. They'll end up doing things that will be shocking. And you're going to make your own plant. So when I looked at the numbers before, I saw a board outside, and it showed how much electricity China's making. Well, we just started. But we're going to actually end up doing more than them, and it's going to be done privately, and you're going to own your own electric plants. And they'll be powered by maybe nuclear, maybe gas, maybe coal. You know, we brought coal back in. They won't be powered by wind, because it doesn't work. I hate to say, it just doesn't work. It's rather intermittent. You don't want it. It causes a lot of problems. But we have every form of fuel that you want to use for your plant. And you'll build a plant, you'll build your electric, and this way you have no excuses, because I didn't want to be the one that said, listen, we're trying to build that grid in 10 years from now, and you wouldn't be able to open. You're going to build it with your own plants. And so people heard that. They couldn't believe it, and finally now they believe it, because we have a couple that are already started, and they're building their electric plants along with their separate plant. And in fact, some of them are building the electric plant inside of their main building. So it's really exciting to see. But I was very proud of that, actually. White House AI czar David Sachs. David, thank you very much. Great job. David interviewed me on his podcast about, what's that now, 2 years ago or something, in San Francisco. And I said, this guy's very smart. If I pull this sucker off, I'm going to probably hire him in some form. I got to get him in. But you've been doing great. Thank you, David, very much. Director of the Office of Science and Technology Policy, Michael Kratsios. Michael, thank you. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Good job. They tell me you're doing great. Thank you very much. As well as State Senate President Pro Tem Kim Ward. Kim, thank you. Kim, good job. Kim's very happy right now. State Senate Majority Leader Joe Pittman. Joe, thank you. And State Senator Greg Rothman. Thank you very much, Greg. Thank you. I also want to recognize your great congressmen. These are friends. These are warriors. They just passed the great, big, beautiful. See, I add the word great. I like to say, because there really was really supposed to be great, big, beautiful. They call it the big, beautiful. But I had great. They took the word great out. I was on a show called Deface the Nation or something like that. Ladies and gentlemen, Deface the Nation. And I said, I want a great, big, beautiful bill. And they named it that. And it really is. It was supposed to be 7 bills. Could have been 2 or 3, but it was supposed to be originally 7. I said, let's put them all together. And if you put them all together, there's going to be something for everybody. And that's what happened. And we got it passed. And the Republicans did it. We didn't get one Democrat vote. Think of it. The biggest tax cut in history, and we didn't get a Democrat vote. And so many other things. No tax on tips. No tax on Social Security. No tax on overtime. But the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, you got that, also the biggest deduction. You know, you have a 10-year period. Last time we had a 1-year period. Now you have a 10-year period. And that's what made the first one. We had the most successful economy in the history of our country during my first term. And we passed a bill, but that bill, honestly, as good as it was nothing compared to this one. And the biggest thing and the biggest reason for the success was the deduction. And you're allowed to do it. And this time we're including structure, so you're able to deduct those big structures that you're building. So nobody thought that was even possible. But I want to introduce the people that did it. Dan Muser is here. Where's Dan? Dan, you...
Stayed in Washington.
Oh, they're in Washington working on our next bill. Good. They shouldn't be here. Now I don't have to mention their names, you know. Although they're watching on television, I guarantee. Oh, that's right. They're working on our next one, which is coming for a vote, I think, on Friday. Wow, I'm impressed. But JT, GT Thompson, Lloyd Schmucker, John Joyce, Mike Kelly, Scott Perry, Rob Bresnahan, all terrific people, and Guy Reschenthaler. These are great people. They're warriors. They fought with us. They voted with us. We only had 2 negative votes. I didn't invite those 2 guys to anything. We had a guy named Rand Paul Jr. He's known as Rand Paul Jr. in the House. He always votes no. We had somebody else. I did him a big favor, and I said, well, he's not going to, sir, I don't think so-and-so is going to vote. I won't mention his name. And I said, no, he's going to vote because I did him a very big favor, very personal favor, as big as you can get, having to do with death and life. But no, he's going to vote. Don't worry about it. Okay, sir, if you tell me, but I don't think we're going to get his vote. Don't worry about it, I said. I know what I'm talking about. Don't worry about it. And sure as hell, he voted against us. And I said another one down, another great move by Trump. Anyway, so much for favors. You know, it's welcome to the world of politics, right? Right, David? We know about that. But we're here today because we believe that America's destiny is to dominate every industry and be the first in every technology. And that includes being the world's #1 superpower in artificial intelligence. And we are way ahead of China. I have to say, we're way ahead of China. And the plants are starting up. The construction's starting up. And did you notice that 2 days ago they just announced that they had a budget surplus of $25 billion in this country? Right, Howard? They never saw anything like that. Everyone would say, where did that? That's been like decades. $25 billion, and that's peanuts compared to what it's. And it's good business practices. The tariffs are coming in by the hundreds of billions of dollars, and they're really at the infant stage right now. It's only on cars and steel, mostly. And the rest is starting to kick in. We just made a deal today, a big one with Indonesia, a great deal. And they've opened up Indonesia fully. You know, Indonesia really has great copper, very, very powerful copper, but they have a lot of things. And we have full access to Indonesia. We'll soon be announcing probably, if we do, we do. If we don't, that's okay too. I don't mind, because I'm very happy with the letters that we send out that you'll be paying X%. I almost like it better if you want to know the truth. But Scott and Howard, they like to go the old-fashioned way. Let's work hard to make a deal. I don't know. There's something about pay us 35% of everything and we're very happy. But I think India is going to open up, and a lot of countries are going to open up. And some that don't, they'll just be paying a very substantial tariff, but peanuts compared to what they should be paying. So we have some amazing things. China and other countries are racing to catch up to America, having to do with AI, and we're not going to let them do it. We have the great chips. We have the great everything, and we're going to be fighting them in a very friendly fashion. I have a great relationship with President Xi, and we smile at the back and forth, but we are leading. I heard somebody say before that we're going to try and catch China. We're not catching them. We're leading. And one of the advantages they have is they show the electric that they have it. They're opening up coal-fired plants all over the place. And we're entitled and allowed now to do that, too. We took coal. It was taken out of the chain. And coal is actually a very, very powerful. I say you're not allowed to call it coal. You have to call it clean, beautiful coal. You're not allowed, John, to call it just coal, because people don't understand. We call it clean, beautiful coal. But China is, I think they're going to be very far behind. You mark my words, I think they're going to be very far, because we have a lot of places going up right now, and they're all going to be great. And they actually feed off each other. but remaining the world's leader in AI will require an enormous increase in the energy production, and that's taking place, and you're doing it yourself, and a massive build out of physical infrastructure and the tremendous technology skill that Pennsylvania has. I mean, you have tremendous skill in this state. Today, the Commonwealth is reclaiming its industrial heritage and taking its place at the forefront of the AI technological revolution. And as I said before, it's an expression I used all during the campaign and screamed it out, "We'll drill, baby, drill." And people went crazy. We had big crowds, as you probably heard, biggest ever, biggest in history. The investments being announced this afternoon include more than $56 billion in new energy infrastructure and more than $36 billion in new data center projects. And a lot more than that are going to be announced in the coming weeks, not even months. I think we could say weeks, right, Howard? In the campaign, I promised that I would save the Homer City power plant 50 miles east of here that Joe Biden's Green New Scam forced to shut down. It's a Green New Scam, greatest scam in history, the greatest in history. Well, the auto pen, I think, is a bigger scam, if you want to know the truth. Actually, I do believe that. Today, we're pleased to report that a $15 billion investment from Knighthead Capital Management. Who's here from Knighthead? Well, I'm very impressed with that. $15 billion. That's pretty good. It's a great location, too. Wow. That's very impressive. Thank you very much. That's a big number, huh? It's a big number, and yet it's peanuts relative to what it would get. That's a good job. But the Homer City site is being resurrected as the largest natural gas-fired power plant ever to be built in North America. Is that right, huh? That's fantastic. As another example, Google will be investing billions and billions of dollars to revitalize two major hydropower facilities in Pennsylvania. Congratulations. Say hello to Sergey and Sundar. They've done a pretty good job at Google, I'll tell you. And they have their star right here, so congratulations. That's really fantastic. And under the last year of Biden, China added 11 times as much power generation capacity as did the United States. That's under Biden. That's not under Trump. That's under Sleepy Joe. Under the Trump administration, America is getting back in the game, and we're going to actually be doing more than they do, as I said. And on day one, I ended the Green New Scam. I also ended Joe Biden's war on clean, beautiful Pennsylvania coal. Totally ended. Coal has equal, if not greater, status. It's a very powerful. It's a very powerful thing, coal. China, it's sort of interesting. China makes windmills, but how many wind farms do you see in China? I haven't seen any lately. It's sort of crazy. They build the windmills, sell them into our country, sell them all over the world, and they ruin their fields and ruin their valleys. And then you look at China. Where's your wind farm? Well, we have one. We're thinking about one. No, it's the whole thing is crazy. But they use coal, and they're building right now about 52 power plants, all of coal. I signed historic executive orders to expedite construction of brand new nuclear power plants, which is very hot. We've issued an order, as you probably know, 1 month ago, making it very easy and very safe to build nuclear power. And Westinghouse, I know, is represented here, and they're become a whole brand new Westinghouse. Congratulations. It's a great thing you're doing. They were hurt by some very incompetent people. I watched what was going on there, and in the form of regulators, they were really doing a number. Our regulators are the opposite. We'll be very safe, but we're fast and safe, and you're going to get a whole different group of people. But it's announcing plans to build 10 state-of-the-art nuclear reactors in the United States. That's great. Congratulations to Westinghouse. And to further accelerate investment in the industries of tomorrow, 2 weeks ago, we enacted the largest tax cuts in American history. When I signed that one big, beautiful bill into law, we're adding to it a little bit, and we're refining it a little bit, all to the positive. And that's why the congressmen, I'll pretend I'm really angry at them, but I would actually be angry at them if they showed up, Lee, right? I'd be much more, if they're here, I would not be happy. The bill allows 100% expensing on all new equipment, something that's never happened before. Factories, research, and as I said before, even structure. To further protect Pennsylvania industry, 2 months ago, I came here to announce my approval of a historic investment deal with Nippon Steel of Japan, to keep U.S. Steel right here in Pittsburgh. And we have a great woman here, Selena Zito. She's the writer. She writes on the Rust Belt and the Midwest, really, but the Rust Belt, anything having to do with rust and belt. Where is Selena? Is she around there someplace? Because I'm doing an interview with her in a little while. And I said, do me a favor, let me do the interview after this. This way we can be right on time. Where is Selena?
There she is up there.
Oh, she's great. You can't be angry at me now, Selena, because I'll be with you. I said, Selena, can we make it after? Otherwise, we're going to keep a lot of money waiting. These people have big money. When I saw the people here, I said, Selena, I'm sorry. I have to delay this. And also, Miss McAdams. Where's Miss McAdams? We're going to do one with her, too. And she's great, with Fox. And she's been fantastic. Stand up. Stand up. Young and smart and vibrant. She's been you've done a great job. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes. All right. That's great. We can't keep this kind of money waiting. These are truly the biggest investors in the world, including my friend John on my left. But these are the biggest investors in the world. I'm sorry, McAdams, and I'm sorry, Selena. That's the way it works. It's very impressive. But Nippon Steel, and we got it, and we have all sorts of protections because of the fact that U.S. Steel was, you people, years ago, 80 years ago, was the biggest company in the world, the most powerful company in the world, and we were very strong. And Nippon's coming in. They're going to be investing $17 billion. They're going to build new plants all over the country using U.S. Steel, and we have the absolute control because we don't want to lose control of that one name. That one name is very important for to the history of this country, and I think Nippon's going to do a fantastic job. And, in some cases, they could take it back to their country. I said to people, because a lot of people said, well, what do you think? Japanese companies coming in. I said, well, when they spend $1 billion in a steel plant, they're not going to put it on a boat and take it away. It's going to be right here with us no matter what. But they are going to do a fantastic job, and they look forward to it, and they're so excited about it. They actually fought very, very hard to get that deal. And I think when you look at the countless jobs at the Mon Valley Works in western Pennsylvania, we have something that's going to be really incredible. And we did keep a golden share. You know who has the golden share? I do. I have the golden. Does everybody know what a golden share? A lot of these people from the Middle East, they don't have to worry about golden shares. But we have a golden share, but Nippon's going to do a fantastic job. With that historic announcement and the new commitments being made today, we're building a future where American workers will forge the steel, produce the energy, build the factories, and really run a country I believe like this country has never been run before. I think we have a true golden age for America. We've been showing it, and it truly is the hottest country anywhere in the world. And I'm honored to be in Pennsylvania, and I'm honored to be in Pittsburgh, and you're going to see some real action here, so get ready. Lots of jobs, lots of success. Really a beautiful thing is, it's going to be beautiful to behold. So enjoy yourselves, and I look forward to hearing some of your geniuses speak. If that's okay, I'll stay around, all right?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you so much. Again, thank you for being here. And you coming has allowed us to have this incredible summit. It won't surprise you, this summit was Dina's idea. But what it's allowed us to do is catalyze the investment. It's allowed us to get a lot of attention on Pennsylvania's story, and it's allowed us to deliver on the promises you and I talked about, which is jobs for working families, really create opportunity here in Pennsylvania. So it's the manifestation of your agenda. And we're going to talk today about those $90 billion of investment. You'll hear from Blackstone and QTS, CoreWeave, and others. They pledged $36 billion to build data centers. You also hear from companies that invested tens of billions in generating the power needed to run those data centers. We have great investments in natural gas production and pipelines, but also in nuclear. Brookfield's repowering of 2 hydro facilities with Google that you mentioned. The great Pittsburgh company Westinghouse will tell you how they're going to deliver on your call to strengthen America's nuclear power industrial base by placing 10 reactors under construction by 2030. And Constellation, which is here, Joe Dominguez, is upgrading Limerick Clean Energy Center to bring an additional 340 megawatts online. First Energy and Pennsylvania's PPL have collectively pledged $20 billion to build and operate the grid infrastructure required to support a data center renaissance right here in Pennsylvania, and to ensure that ratepayers don't foot the bill. And finally, you got technology companies like Google that are investing in bringing the benefits of AI to Main Street and their AI Works for Pennsylvania initiative, which will offer AI training for 1 million small businesses. The great thing about today is these are not empty promises. These are tangible, real commitments, and they're only the beginning. The distinguished leaders you have around the table here, from Larry Fink to Darren Woods, from Toby Rice to Bruce Flatt, to great global investors like my good friends Chow Kit from Singapore, Haldun Al-Mubarak from the United Arab Emirates, they've traveled long distances to witness firsthand this historic moment and to see firsthand what's happening in Pennsylvania. And these investments are a testament to Pennsylvania's unique resources. Unbelievable natural gas reserves, abundant fresh water, a massive installed base of nuclear power, incredible tech universities like CMU, our host today, thank you, Farnham, amazing skilled trade engineers represented by Pennsylvania's own Rob Baer and Brandon Bishop here of the National Building Trades. But none of this would have happened. None of this would have happened without your unwavering commitment to unleashing American energy dominance and standing up for workers in Pennsylvania and across the nation. They're going to see those workers tangible job opportunities here today. These projects will create tens of thousands of construction jobs and thousands of well-paying direct and indirect jobs supporting these projects, supporting these industries. It's going to make a big difference in Pennsylvania communities. So, Mr. President, this is the beginning of an economic renaissance for Pennsylvania and a huge step forward. And I want to thank you for making it possible and for being here in the Steel City. So let me give you one more hand. Thank you. So with that, if it's all right with you, Mr. President, I'm going to call on a handful of the people here and let them tell you a little bit about what they're thinking and why they're investing. I'll start with, to your left, John Gray, President and COO of Blackstone, $25 billion in data center and energy infrastructure in Northeast PA.
Thank you, Dave. I want to start by thanking President Trump for recognizing the importance of American leadership in AI innovation and for prioritizing the physical investment required in digital and energy infrastructure to make this AI revolution possible. We believe this new technology can lead to a manufacturing renaissance in the United States. Generating electrons will spur economic activity and employment growth right here in Pennsylvania. That also leads me to thank Senator McCormick for hosting this terrific summit, with Dina's help, of course. So many important participants from around the globe have come here, including political leaders in Pennsylvania from both sides of the aisle, who all care about making this state and the U.S. successful in this vital area. By the way, I love this state too. I went to college like you here as well. I met my wife here, and it is a great place. I will say that at Blackstone, we have enormous investments here, and we're very excited to announce that we're going to make a further $25 billion investment into Pennsylvania's digital and energy infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. President. Great.
The investment should catalyze over the next 10-plus year a further $60 billion on top of that into the state. Pennsylvania, as you've heard, is uniquely situated as a strategic hub to power the nation's AI objectives. Abundant, low-cost energy, 20% of the country's natural gas production. And by co-locating data centers next to the natural gas, we eliminate the enormous cost and time delays with these projects, which makes us super bullish on this state. America's AI future obviously requires rapid acceleration of data center construction. Our company, QTS, is the largest independent data center developer and operator in the world. QTS has secured multiple land sites throughout the northeast of Pennsylvania. We're very excited about that. The co-CEO tag is over there. We're also excited to announce today a JV with Pennsylvania utility PPL to invest in new natural gas generation facilities. These will ensure grid reliability and power Pennsylvania's digital infrastructure as well as homes and businesses across the Commonwealth. Net here, this continues our long-term partnership at Blackstone with Pennsylvania. We believe 6,000 plus jobs will be created or supported annually over the 10-year construction timeline. Over 3,000 permanent jobs will be created or supported by QTS and its customers. We have long-standing relationships with labor. We plan to continue those here in Pennsylvania, and we intend to commence construction on these projects by year-end 2028. Thank you for having us today, Senator McCormick. Thank you, President Trump, for your leadership. We are honored and excited to be investing in the future of Pennsylvania and the United States.
All right. Thank you, John. That's great. And I'm going to keep us moving because there's so many people here I want to call on. Brian Tierney, CEO of First Energy, a $9.3 billion investment across PA to expand power distribution and strengthen grid infrastructure. Brian.
Thank you, Senator McCormick, and thank you, President Trump, for your leadership, particularly on energy security and what it means to our economy.
Thank you.
At First Energy Pennsylvania, we have 6,000 contractors and employees who are thrilled to serve 2 million customers in the state. We are planning $15 billion of investment between now and the end of your term in the distribution grid and the transmission grid to enable things like artificial intelligence development, shale gas development, and any other form of economic and technological development that there is. We have partnered with the unions, the IBEW and the UWUA. We have a journeyman lineman hiring program, and we have an apprenticeship program that will create not just jobs, but long-term careers for the people of the Commonwealth. We're thrilled to be making this investment in the grid and infrastructure in the Commonwealth and look forward to working with those around the table to make it happen in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. All right. Dan Summer, you know, a Pittsburgh iconic name, Westinghouse. $6 billion. This ties directly to the executive order and your commitment to nuclear power. $6 billion investment to deliver 10 new large nuclear reactors by 2030, consistent with your executive order. And we're so excited about it here. Dan, take it away.
Senator McCormick, thank you. President Trump, you've led on nuclear energy in this country, and you've reinvigorated our industry with the vision that you've set forth in your executive orders. Our industry is reinvigorated. We're ready to mobilize. Westinghouse today is the world's leader in nuclear technology. Over 50% of the reactors that operate in the world use Westinghouse technology, and today we service over 60% of the world's operating nuclear fleet right here from our headquarters in the Pittsburgh region, actually Butler County, as well as sites around the country and around the world. What we're happy to share today is we've taken the call to action under your executive order to partner with companies across our industry to mobilize a plan to deliver 10 AP1000 reactors in the U.S. with construction to begin by 2030. This is not only critical to achieve your goals with respect to energy dominance and winning the AI race, but it's a driver of massive economic benefit across our country. When we deploy a fleet aligned to your vision, we'll drive $75 billion of economic value across the United States, with $6 billion of value here in Pennsylvania. It's also a jobs machine. Implementing your vision will create or sustain over 55,000 jobs across the country and over 15,000 jobs here in the Commonwealth alone. And these are great jobs across manufacturing, engineering, and construction. And beyond that, we're happy to announce today a strategic collaboration with Google to leverage Google's expertise in AI and AI solutions, along with Westinghouse's AI technology and 75 years of OEM nuclear engineering and construction data to build an AI machine that helps us rethink how to do nuclear construction in this country and honor your commitment and your expectations for us to, when we deliver nuclear, we'll do it on budget and on cost. Mr. President, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your vision. Westinghouse and our industry are ready to deliver. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. You almost gave the introduction for my good friend Ruth Porat. Ruth, thank you for being here. And Google is doing a number of things, partnering with Brookfield, which Bruce Flatt is here. Great partnership. We're lucky to have them both engaged in Pennsylvania. Bruce is also the majority owner of Westinghouse. Brookfield's the majority owner of Westinghouse. And also an incredible effort to train 1 million small businesses in AI. So Ruth, please tell us what you're doing in Pennsylvania, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you so much for your leadership, for your clear and urgent direction that our nation invest in AI, in the infrastructure, technology, and energy needed to unlock the extraordinary capabilities and really enable America to continue to lead. And Senator McCormick and Dina, thank you for this extraordinary convening. It really has delivered the energy, no pun intended, that we were striving to achieve here. On behalf of Google, I'm very pleased to be here in Pittsburgh to announce that Google is investing more than $25 billion in data centers and AI infrastructure across the states in this critical PJM region over the next 2 years. And to support the investment, we're investing in 3 additional ways and focused on them. First, Mr. President, to support your mandate for energy abundance, we're investing in hydro, as you referenced. It is a $3 billion 20-year agreement with Brookfield Energy to modernize 2 hydropower facilities in Lancaster County. Second, we've already heard about the importance of the grid. The Department of Energy has estimated that there is up to 100 gigawatts of additional capacity in America's grid infrastructure if we collectively work to unlock it. So at Google, 2 things. We're applying advanced technology to ensure that we're most efficiently using power from the grid, and we're also working on ways that AI can help to identify and deploy capacity more efficiently. I think what's really exciting also is we're focused on jobs. There are 2 parts of the focus on jobs. One is really training to support the jobs to modernize the grid. There is an acute need for electrical workers in this country. It's estimated in the 100,000 plus. Last month, Google made a grant to the Electrical Training Alliance to equip more than 100,000 electrical workers with the skills that they need and train 30,000 new apprentices by 2030. Today, we are expanding that grant to increase the projected pipeline of new electricians in Pennsylvania by 64%. Third, we think it is critical, as Senator McCormick said, to build a fair America, an America where everyone has the opportunity for jobs of the future. And to ensure that we can do that today, starting in Pennsylvania, we're really proud to announce AI Works for America. And through partnerships with leading employers, universities, skilled trades, and manufacturers, we're going to help train American workers and students by teaching them essential AI skills. And as part of this, I'm very proud that Google will be offering free AI training to every small business in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. One final comment. We are proud that Pittsburgh is our home. It's been our home since 2006. Our first office was actually right here at Carnegie Mellon, and continuing the trend of this line right here, I also went to school in Pennsylvania, and we're very proud of it. So thank you again. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all your catalyzing.
Thanks, Ruth. That's what we like to hear. I want to call on just briefly Mike Intrator. Mike, I want to take note of this for all you CEOs. Mike is the CEO of CoreWeave, which made a big announcement today, $6 billion investment in Pennsylvania, and his stock went way up. So all you CEOs, just take notice. Investing in Pennsylvania is good for your stock price. Mike, please tell us about this project. It's very exciting.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Senator McCormick. And yes, you're correct. The market responded well to our announcement investing $6 billion into a Lancaster, Pennsylvania data center. It's a data center that will be able to host some of the most advanced, state-of-the-art computing infrastructure that the country needs in order to maintain its position as the leader in artificial intelligence. The data center will drive 600 jobs for across the trades as we construct the site, and then another 175 jobs of permanent employment. We're extremely excited about the role that this data center is going to play in our plans to be able to support not just the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, but the broader Mid-Atlantic region for us. And your support has been incredible across the energy space that's required to deliver clean, reliable power, as well as your support for artificial intelligence at large. Thank you very much. We appreciate your support.
Thank you, Mike. Mr. President, what you hear over and over again are these incredible job creation, but we need workers to be able to fulfill these jobs. And I see my friend Barry in the audience, and we've talked a lot about the need for construction workers. There he is. There's Barry. We have Brandon Bishop with us today from the National Building Trades. And, I was with a bunch of guys from the building trades a couple weeks ago, and they were saying, we don't want to do the apprenticeship program until we're sure about the work. And I said, double, triple, quadruple the programs, right? We got to have skilled workers who can meet the needs. We got a tsunami of opportunity coming for Pennsylvania. And so maybe you could take a minute, Brandon, on that. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Senator McCormick. Mr. President, it's an honor to be here today representing North America's building trades unions and our 3 million members, especially the thousands of highly skilled workers across Pennsylvania who are ready to deliver on all of the historic investments here today. All the projects discussed here today aren't just about energy and innovation, they're about job creation. And all of us in the building trades stand ready to deliver. If you want the highest quality, most productive, long-term labor certainty, partner with us from day one. Don't just build with us, stay with us and maintain it for decades. And when you partner with the building trades, you get results. Productivity is 14% higher, projects cost 4% less on average, they're 40% less likely to face labor shortages, and labor turnover is cut by 2/3. We are the solution to the workforce challenge. Our members are sourced and trained through the largest private workforce development system in the country. Over 16,000 world-class training centers, including many right here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. These centers train hundreds of thousands of men and women through our gold standard registered apprenticeship programs. No taxpayer dollars required. And they don't just lead to jobs. They launch lifelong, middle-class careers with family-sustaining wages, health care, and retirement. So if you're investing in Pennsylvania, let's talk, let's plan, let's partner. Because there is no workforce more prepared to build the future and no investment more certain than when you build with us. That's what we do. We build, we maintain, and deliver, all while doing it the best way, safely, on time, on budget, and with the highest quality.
Thank you. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so I asked the president. He said I could take the opportunity. We got the A-team here in terms of the cabinet the president put together. So I'd like to do a lightning round and just call on a couple of cabinet members to comment on what's going on in terms of the incredible action and activity at the intersection of the AI revolution, the energy revolution. We got a great team here that's working together. So let me just work my way around the table. Mr. Treasury Secretary Scott Besson, and then I'll turn to you, Howard, and then you, Chris, and then you, Doug. And Director Zeldin, I'm sorry I didn't mention you before, but I'm so glad you're here. You're doing great things for our country. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. I want to thank President Trump for his leadership. The President's laid the foundation for a golden age economy, and it comes just in time to begin America's 250th anniversary celebration. 3 industries will define the future: manufacturing, energy, and technology. Not coincidentally, Pennsylvania is at the forefront of all 3. For more than 2 centuries, the Commonwealth has been the keystone at the top of the American arch, and politically, economically, and technology has played an indispensable role and will continue to do so under President Trump and Senator McCormick's leadership. The Rust Belt is no more. It's a thing of the past. The factories that industrialized America, won World War II, and built our modern infrastructure are firing up again, and new factories are coming online. Taking place along the blue-collar boom is the CapEx boom that we heard about today, and this is just the beginning. This is the third time I've had the privilege of being in the Iron City in less than a year. I was here President Trump's final day on the campaign trail at the auditorium at the Duquesne Arena, and I saw the steel workers there to support him. I was back 3 weeks ago when he announced the Nippon Steel deal at the U.S. Steel plant, and it's an honor to be here with all of you today and see this CapEx boom along with a workers boom.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. All right, my good buddy, Secretary Lutnick.
Advanced manufacturing, technology lead. Our technology is the best in the world. President Trump is out to unleash that technology to make sure we win the AI race. But he knows that we need energy to drive it. And that's why he campaigned on drill, baby, drill, because we need energy. We need it across the nation, and we need it in Pennsylvania, which has got amazing natural gas resources, incredible. And then we've got to turn that into advanced manufacturing. So those three buckets are where we're going, and President Trump is leading the charge on that. And we are very excited. $16 trillion in investment dollars coming into America. So your workers, man, are they going to be busy?
Secretary Wright, let me turn to you, and then Secretary Burgum.
Yes, thank you, Senator McCormick, and thank you, President Trump. We are all here, and we're talking $1 billion investment in this state because of a dramatic pivot in the leadership of our country. President Trump, an East Coast real estate developer, understands in his gut energy more than anyone I've met. He knows energy is the infrastructure for everything we do. If you get energy wrong, nothing else matters. If you get energy right, the possibilities are just immense. And Pennsylvania, the oil and gas industry, global oil and gas industry, started a few dozen miles from here in Titusville, Pennsylvania. The shale gas revolution may have started in Texas, but it really flourished and hit its peak right here in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania today exports more energy to other states than any other state except for Texas. And it would export more, but it had blocks on building pipelines. Two great opportunities for Pennsylvania energy. One, and President Trump is hard at work at both of these, one is to get those pipelines built from Pennsylvania to New England so we can change the quality of life and opportunities. People in New England have a lower quality of life than they deserve for bad political decisions. That can be changed. And number two, the opposition to building pipelines out of Pennsylvania doesn't stop the production of gas in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania natural gas production could ramp up tremendously fast, and Pennsylvania could lead the world in AI and reshoring manufacturing.
Secretary Burgum, thank you.
Thank you, Dave and Dina. President Trump, it's such an honor to work for you. Your vision of energy dominance as the foundation of this golden age for America is coming true, and it's just common sense. You've called this the party of common sense, but it's when we talk about this like never before, cutting regulations, speeding permitting, we're the hottest country in the world because of the policy changes that are drawing all that capital to come here. And now we combine this with the incredible natural resources that we have. You understand better than anyone that the balance sheet of America is the biggest balance sheet in the world, the natural resources that we have. And by unleashing energy, you know that that's what's lowered inflation. It's bringing prosperity at home, but it's also bringing peace abroad. You identified that there was a couple of threats to our country. One was Iran having a nuclear weapon. The other was losing the AI arms race to China. You took care of one of those a few weeks ago. You're helping to take care of the other one here. And I just want to say again that your understanding of what needs to be done, your understanding that we need more power, because a kilowatt of electricity today is worth more than it ever has been in human history, because we can take Pennsylvania natural resources like gas, turn it to electricity, turn it to intelligence, and that intelligence lifts every single industry, not just one industry, not the company that owns the data center. It lifts everybody that uses it. This is going to be the biggest change in human productivity in history, and the U.S. is going to lead thanks to your vision.
Thank you. Thank you. Listen, I want to just close by saying what an extraordinary group of people here today. Thank you all for coming. There's just people you could talk for days just listening to the people around this table. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your commitment and investment in Pennsylvania. Thank you all you in the audience. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette ran an article last week, and it said in the first line or two, not since the days of Andrew Carnegie has so much economic power been gathered in one room in Pittsburgh. And I really believe, Mr. President, based on you being here, we're going to look back on this day and say that this was a real seminal moment in the history of our Commonwealth, and maybe even in the history of our country, because not only of you being here, but all the policies that are leading us in this direction and the leadership you're showing. So I want to thank you on behalf of Dean and me. Thank you on behalf of Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania. We're grateful for your leadership, and thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you very much. And I have to say that David said, could you just come in and make a quick statement and then you can leave right away? And I said, okay, good, I'll do it. But when I saw the people gathered, I said, I'm not leaving. I want to learn something, and I have learned something. This is the smartest group of talent probably that you've ever had in terms of energy and even finance ever had in one room. So it's an honor to be with you. I used to do what a lot of you guys did. I like this better, though. I don't care. And you're doing a fantastic job, but really it's an honor to be with you, and congratulations. You're going to have tremendous success all over the country, but you're going to have tremendous success in the Commonwealth. So good luck to everybody. And if I can help you, let me know. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Mr. President. Great to see you. Great to be with you.
President Trump in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania this afternoon, delivering remarks to the Pennsylvania Energy and Innovation Summit as 20 technology and energy companies announced more than $92 billion of investments in Pennsylvania. Thanks so much for watching this live broadcast. I'm Matthew Alvarez here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. This all brought to you by some great sponsors, including allfamilypharmacy.com. So if you've been feeling tired or foggy or just low on energy lately, it might not be just stress. It could be your cells running low on fuel. So that's why more and more folks are turning to NAD Plus and methylene blue. As we get older, our cells slow down, but that doesn't mean you have to. These products are helping people boost their energy, clear out the brain fog, and stay sharp. And now you can get both NAD Plus and methylene blue at All Family Pharmacy. They make it easy to get the medications you need without the usual runaround. So they have fast shipping, they don't require insurance, and a doctor's prescription is included. It's your go-to for essentials like ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, antibiotics, and more. All online and delivered right to your door. So all you have to do is check out allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. Use that promo code that you see there, RSBN10, for that 10% off. Again, that's allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN, code RSBN10. MyPillow.com/RSBN. More than 2,000 products to choose from there. Free shipping, always a good thing. A lot of great products at MyPillow.com. Mike Lindell doing great things for our country and has a great business as well. MyPillow.com/RSBN. So many products to choose from. Go ahead and check out some today if you'd like and get that free shipping sale. Always good to get that as well. For all of us here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, this is RSBN Live. I'm Matthew Alvarez. Thanks so much for streaming in for all of our broadcasts today. We'll see you a bit later.
Welcome to Right Side Broadcasting Network, your trusted conservative news outlet. At RSBN, we deliver the truth when the mainstream media falls short. Since 2015, we've proudly broadcasted every single one of President Trump's iconic MAGA rallies, bringing you the excitement and energy live before anyone else. By watching RSBN, you get an unfiltered front row view of the action on the ground. We interview the crowds to give a voice to millions of Americans just like you. We show you President Trump's speeches in their entirety, free from interruptions and censorship. We cover the stories that matter to you with the integrity and passion you deserve. Thank you for choosing RSBN as your home for America First News. Together, we stand strong, united, and informed. So join us and be part of the right side of history.
Hey y'all, it's Silk from the Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Live Show. Look, don't forget to check me out right here on RSBN Network. Be sure to watch the show on Right Side Broadcasting Network, and I want you to support Right Side Broadcasting Network. Yes, it's imperative that you do so, okay? I look to see y'all soon. Bye-bye.
To celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7, I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.